The waiver wire is getting hot for week 3. We got a lot of things going on. We have some running backs getting injured with Nick Chubb and Saquon Barkley, creating some instabilities at running back for some people. We got some running backs on waivers that should have been claimed last week that you need to pick up. We got some wide receivers doing some things. The waiver wire is really shining pretty bright this week and really could help some people out. There's some opportunities. There's some lottery tickets. There's a lot to look at the waiver wire. But one player that we're going to look at again, because we looked at him last week and we looked at him a lot last year, Kyren Williams had a huge week last week, and we caught some news right before the game started that Cam Akers was a healthy scratch, giving Kyren Williams a lot of opportunity in a perceived bad matchup, which it was a bad matchup, and he still produced. We're going to dig into the stats. We're going to dig into the information in this deep dive, so you know whether or not you need Kyren Williams on your fantasy team. But before we start, you need to click that subscribe button. That's what you really need to do. And stop missing out on these deep dives, because we're going over the advanced metrics. We're going over the work rate on these players to give you the information to help you make your decisions. We're covering every hot player on the waiver wire, so you get that information, you get that knowledge, you know who to pick up, you know who to go after later, you know who to go after 3 weeks from now. That information will be here. Going to help you with trades, going to help you with setting those lineups, and everything else that's going to help you win your league. That's also going to help you learn some things about these players. But let's dig in. Let's look at Kyren Williams. The first thing is Cam Akers, healthy scratch, more than likely going to get traded. If he comes back, it's been noted that he's not getting a huge workload. He's in the doghouse big time. He was last year. We saw this with Cam Akers. This is a historical thing with them. They're done. They're done. It's the Kyren Williams show. There's not much more of an indicator we need than this. It wasn't good last year with him. Even though he's come back from that injury, we know from what we saw that the Rams were having some issues with him. There were some games where he was a healthy scratch in the middle of the season, and then he came back, and then he had his time to get a good run at the end of the year, had some good game scripts, some good fantasy production, made him a mid-round, late-round pick in redraft, probably close to double-digit rounds there, depending on your league, depending on where you guys are going after him in your home league. But it looks like he's done. It looks like it may be over for him with the Rams, and they're shopping him as we speak. But it's the Kyren Williams show, and he was productive against the Niners with 28 PPR fantasy points. He was projected for 10, and he got 28. Really played well, 95% of the snaps. Huge workload. That's almost unheard of. 95 to 100% is massive. That means you're the bell cow. That means you are the team's guy in the run game. There are not many running backs in the league that get 90+% of the snaps, because this day in the NFL, we run with committees. He's also seen a fair amount of workload. Got 52 rushing yards, also 10 targets and 48 receiving yards on top of 6 catches in this game. Good production nonetheless. Some other things we want to look at. The snap share, immensely huge. Ran 43 routes in this game. And last week he ran a lot of routes as well. 14 carries, 52 yards, a touchdown, 10 targets, and almost a 20% target share. Huge for a running back. That means Matt Stafford likes to target him in the flat. They like to get him the ball in space. They like to target him with passes, and that's a good thing to see. And this was against the 49ers, a tough matchup, and the game script kind of went in favor for the offense to be able to put points on the board, to be able to move the football. And this team is fast-paced, which is very good for all the players involved on this team. Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, Cooper Kupp when he comes back, even Kyren Williams. Good thing to see. He's first in routes ran among all running backs. He's first in targets. He's tied with another running back. 22nd in opportunity share, but he shared a good bit of opportunity in week 1. This is over the last 2 weeks. He's getting good opportunity here. He is getting a lot of touches. He's getting a lot of workload. I look for that opportunity share just to increase as we move on, because Cam Akers isn't in the fold anymore, really. He's RB2 in PPR fantasy points. one of the top running backs in the league. He's a hot waiver wire get if he did not get picked up. A lot of people did pick up. They've watched the videos on this channel. They know about Kyren Williams. They know about the upside. They saw the writing on the wall in week 1. They said, you know what? Bruce might be right. Let's pick him up. Here we go. Kyren Williams is doing some things. The reason why people are scared of him is because of the athletic metrics. He fell in the draft due to this. And we see this a little bit on the field, but he's very dependable. He's very assertive. He's got some good burst and wiggle on the field. He plays faster than his timed speed. He does. We saw that at Notre Dame. We're seeing that right now. He's very dependable in the passing game, a good pass blocker. Dependability gets you on the field. Being assertive, hitting the hole gets you on the field. Being assertive, running through the lane really helps you maximize your potential. It helps you a lot. Just because you ran a 4.65 doesn't mean you can't compete in this league. We've seen a lot of other running backs. Last year, when I was talking about this, I was mentioning him in light of another running back like James White, of a Theo Riddick type role where he's going to be sneaky in the passing game. He's going to be sneaky because he's dependable. And guess what? He's sneaky right now. He's sneaking up there in fantasy points because he's being wheeled out there in a lot of routes. He's getting a lot of opportunity because he is good in the passing game, can catch balls out of the backfield, and that receiving production and that opportunity elevates the floor and also boosts the upside, which is what we like in our running backs. We want running backs who are used in the passing game, and he has good chops in the passing game. His ability to be very dependable, pass blocking, being where he needs to be, and then running the correct routes, getting open, and all that stuff, helps him more than just being a super fast guy because that's getting him opportunity. Looking at the schedule here, we got a lot of iffy game scripts, but we also have a lot of opportunity as well. The thing about this Rams team is they're running 80 plays per game right now. They are tops in the league. They're tied with another team. And when you look at the bottom team in the league, I think it's the Jets. That's almost double of that team. That's almost like the Jets played 2 games. They'd get the Rams, just a little shade less. But thinking about that, that's also can't happen every game. So you're going to get some game scripts where they're a little slower because there's no way you can run 80 plays a game every single game. But the intuition of this team is to push the pace, get plays off, move the football. We're going to face some tough defenses. We're going to keep chugging along. We're going to keep moving pace. We're going to try to get this defense tired. We got some teams here that might try to slow it down on us, but we're going to continue to try to move the rock through the air. We're going to throw it a lot. We're going to keep running plays at a high pace. We're going to try and make you keep up with us because they said that to us. Back-to-back games here, 80 plays per game plus the game scripts. We're both a little crazy on both these games. We were not expecting them to beat Seattle. Vegas told us with the over-unders and the spread, and then definitely with the Niners, but they really pushed the paces. Offense is looking better than expected with Cooper Kupp out. Cooper Kupp will be back, and with this pace of play, you're going to see some game scripts that we're predicting to be a little slower just increase and boost. They're going to hit the overs on some of these games. That's one thing you want to look at. And Kyren Williams being wheeled out in the passing game when they're running a lot of plays, maybe it ends up being like 75, 72, 73, 78 plays per game when it's all said and done. But still, that's huge for every player involved in this offense. Puka, Tutu Atwell, Cooper Kupp, Kyren Williams, everybody. More plays ran, the more opportunity, and that's what that means. That speaks that this team is going to give their players opportunity to be productive in fantasy football. You need them because you need touches. You saw the upside. You saw everything involved. A player getting this many snaps, a player getting this many routes ran and targets needs to be on your radar. Needs to be on your radar, and then you'll play the matchups from here on out. It's not a week-to-week thing. It's not about tomorrow's game script. It's about the long term here because we know he's getting touches. We know he's getting workload, and now it's going to be a week-to-week thing as we play the matches with him going forward, and he's getting touches. Touches equate to fantasy points from one way to another. Eventually, game script's going to roll his way as it's been doing. So he's a player who's a heavy target, should be already rostered, but gauging the rostership on Sleeper right now, he's probably available in a lot of leagues of the people watching this video. You don't need him because you got someone better. You don't have the room. You don't like what you saw last year. Think about Kyren Williams, though. He's getting the touches. You want running backs who are getting touches. That's it. You're overthinking it. You want running backs to get touches, you play it by ear from there. Get the running backs who are getting touches, play it by ear from there, and that's it. That's all. That's my take. You get running backs who get touches, who are being used in the passing game. You play it by ear from there, and then roll with it. With Cam Akers out of the fold, he's in the doghouse, and that doghouse is buried under the ground, and he's tossed into the sun. You really got to be going all in on Kyren Williams. His player should be already rostered. Once that news broke on Sunday, right before the game hit, you should have been hitting that button. And I couldn't get a video out quick enough on that. I could not do that. Been talking about him for the last year and a half, though. Been talking about the upside. Been talking about how he's been using the passing game. All those metrics matter. That's why we do the deep dives. So when situations change in the future on some of these players, now, next week, 3 weeks later, week 8, you have an idea because we got the usage trends already talked about here. Refer back to that when we're talking about these players. Just because the player doesn't fire this week, next week, or 2 weeks from now doesn't mean you can't use the information, because down the road, they may sneak into an opportunity where you need to know about this player. That happened with Cam Akers on Sunday. Having that information is going to help you out. That's why you need to hit that subscribe button right now, because we cover the advanced metrics on these players, and these trends could be a huge option for you down the road, as it was with Cam Akers on Sunday. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out, and I'll catch you on the next video.